Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Yeah, they tripped that man, and slammed him straight down on his face, man. Bust his whole face wide open and knocked his teeth out because he got his handcuffs behind his back. And they tripped him and drove him to the ground. Blood was everywhere, man, everywhere. It wasn't nothing but like 8 to 10 of us still in the block that didn't go out, so we looking out through our window, we could see this, man. And it was just crazy, man. Then they try to lift him up and his body was all limp. And they trying to get up, stand up, you ain't hurt. Man, blood is everywhere. Blood is just spilling all out on the floor, blood dripping from his face. And they just dragged him out, feet just dragging. Dragged him right on out the salad port so we couldn't see the rest. Man, I'm telling you, the brutality up there was real. I mean, it was real. And I saw that with my own eyes. You know what I'm saying? Now, man, things like that, when you see that and you witness that, it just puts you on point, man. It let you know where you at, what you dealing with. And man, it infuriated me, man. My blood pressure went up. I was like, man, because if they did that to me, God forbid if they would have ever did something like that, and I lost my teeth, I lost my choppers, man, y'all would have never met me. You would have never met me. They would have killed me. They would have had to kill me, you know, but that's what they was doing up there. That was the culture up there. And they was getting away with it. It won't no it won't no recourse for it. They was getting away with it. They gonna fill out the paperwork. They gonna make it what they wanted to be. They gonna do all of that. So it's nothing you can do about it. You see what I'm saying? Besides, be on point, be ready, and be willing to protect yourself, man, at any cost, because they gonna get off on you. You gonna have to try to get off on them if you want to do anything to make your mark and let them know, man, that this is what and it might cost you your life. They may kill you. Because they do their best work when you got them handcuffs and shackles on. That's when they do their work. And they'll tell you straight up, yeah, when you get them handcuffs on, I got something for you. And they meant that. So like I said, man, the brutality was real, man. And yeah, I remember, man, then my old celly, Mr. Grouchy, man, Disco, he goes up for parole. He got a parole hearing. I told y'all this in another video, but he goes over there for parole, man, and he acts a fool over there. To my understanding, man, he just snap out over there. He had been locked up at this time, I think, about 30-something years. So he was already irritated, frustrated, all the stuff that goes along with being locked up that long. I know. So he mess around and go over there, man, and he won't liking what he was hearing or liking how the hearing was going, and he snap out and cuss the people out and start spitting and screaming and all that. So you already know what that called for. They lock him straight up. Quite sure he took a brutal beating. They didn't like him anyway. The administration ain't like him because he always got smart. He always talked. They really, when you got somebody that's out of state, they try to be a little bit more cautious with them people, because if they abuse them too much, those people from out of state, they have a contract with them. So they would lose their contract, or if there's enough grievances being made or some type of lawsuit being brought against them, it could cost them money. So they was a little bit more cautious with those people opposed to how they treated us. So yeah, man, he ended up getting locked up. But when they come to the cell, this is just another testament to how they carry it. They come to the cell to pack up all this stuff, which I had already packed up because I had heard what was going on, because the other officer on the floor had said, man, your celly got locked up, you need to start packing up his stuff. So they come to the cell, the ones that come get the property, though, man, this is how vicious they is up there. They talking about, man, I don't care what you give him. You can keep his TV, you can sell it, take all his commissary, I don't care. Just give us his mail and stuff like that. So I'm like, man, I don't want his TV. I got a TV. All right, well, sell it. They gonna try to tell people, promote you to get rid of somebody's property, man. I was like, man, this is just too much. But I was like, nah, man, you can go ahead and take his TV. This is all of his stuff. This is you know, everything that he got. He didn't have no commissary. So it was like, yeah, well, you know, he ain't nothing, man. He went over there, act like a fool, and did all of that stuff. He deserved what he get, and, you know, he always got a smart mouth anyway. You know, so I'm like, man, well, this is all his property. I don't want none of it, you know, la. So they take his property and stuff all out of the sale. They looking at me like they, you know, insulted that they told me to take it and I wouldn't take it. You know what I'm saying? But I live by principles, man. I can't do that to somebody because I definitely wouldn't want them to do it to me. So, you know, they move him on out, man. And then I got to sell, you know, like I say, a little bit for myself or whatnot. And I think I ended up getting, I ended up getting a new celly a couple of weeks later. It was old boy Razor, a.k.a. Hellraiser. That's what he told me when he came in the sale. That was his name, man, which was crazy because I think, yeah, the Razor come first. I think he did come first. I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Razor. No, it was not Hellraiser. This was the Clown, man, my worst celly ever. You remember I told y'all about my worst celly ever, man, and that's what I ended up getting. My worst celly ever, man. I did the video on it, man, a.k.a. Saheed, a.k.a. Arthur, you know, faking the funk, man, acting like he was somebody he wasn't. You know, I don't even want to even talk about him no more. That's how irritated he get me. Y'all go back and watch the video, my worst celly ever. That was him. You know, how we ended up having an altercation. You know, he's a white guy, but he's acting like he's not. He's acting like he a Muslim. He's acting like he a killer. He just came out of the feds. He talk with all of that fakeness. You know, he just was disgusting to me. I didn't like him from day one. You know, I went against my better judgment because of where I was, but I should have, you know, got rid of him off the rip. He ended up, you know, putting me in the trick bag, you know. After I ended up having to put these mitts on him, he ended up, you know, telling the people and playing the white card. You know, I didn't want him in the cell because he was a white dude, and that made the people come at me with, you know, more racism than they already had, and ended up locking me up. I thank God, you know, for that little blessing that they didn't try to put their hands on me, because like I said, it would have went into something else. But I ended up getting locked up, man. I ended up getting the charge, getting convicted of the charge, ended up having to stay up there at least 2 more years, man, which just infuriated me, man. It just made me feel like I should have drugged him in there. I should have did him dirty, man. I whooped him, but I could have really hurt him in there, man. I could have destroyed him for real. And I didn't, man. And I should have just went head on and took the fighting charge and just punished him and did what I wanted to do to him. I probably would have came out less, you know, harm than I ended up causing myself, because when he put that knife on me, or that fake knife or that razor, they, you know, considered it a weapon, and that alone would get you 2 more years up there, man. And it just set me back real bad, man. And man, I'm thankful. I'm very thankful that I never ran into him again anywhere, because I would have hurt him. You know, I definitely would have hurt him. So, you know, God was on my side as always. He walked with me through this journey. This is why I'm here today with y'all, because he was with me all the time. And like I say, sometimes I made decisions that was bad. Sometimes I made decisions that was good for me that I didn't even know that was good for me. And that was God, you know, at work. But yeah, man, but he's disgusting, and I don't even want to talk about him. You know, he's in there right now around Bo Billy, and Bo Billy, I had to keep Bo Billy up off of him. You know what I'm saying? Bo Billy said, yeah, that chump up in here with me hiding. You know, I had to keep Bo Billy off of him. I said, man, let him live, man. You know, God gonna take care of him, you know. But anyway, man, so, you know, after I did get out of the hole, then I went into another block when I came out of segregation, and I was in there by myself for a minute, and then Razor comes in there, a.k.a. Hellraiser. And at the time, I didn't even know what that meant, man, when he told me, man, you know, when he came in the cell, he introduced himself, man, Razor, woo, dap him up, kind of a big dude, probably about 6 feet, about, you know, maybe about 220, you know, but not muscular, just big, and from New York, And he tell me off the rip within 5 minutes in there. Said, yeah, after he introduced himself, said his name and everything, he sit down, start, unpacking his property or whatever. He said, yeah, I'm down moved too, right? I didn't even know what that was at the time, And I'm like, I just left him off. I'm like, yeah, okay. And he was like, yeah, woo, woo. But then a whole lot of dudes start hollering in, hey, Razor, man, yeah, woo, 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 letting them know that he in there. And I seen him start talking that talk. He was a blood. And he was a shot caller in the Bloods. He was, a dude that was well known in the Bloods. He called shots. So when he moved in the block, he became the biggest ranking Blood in the block. So all of the Bloods that was in the block follow his lead. Whatever he say, that's what it was. So I understood now that that move meant some type of blood. So I was like, okay. But, like I say, when we was in the cell, when I'm in the cell with anybody, I don't care who it is. I don't care what they do. I don't care what they into. I don't care what their reputation is. It does not matter to me. What matters to me is what you do inside this cell, because this is where I got to live. I don't care how big, how strong, it makes me no difference. I've already sized you up and have determined, if it comes down to it, how I will dismantle you and just take you out the game. Because I have to. Because this is my, like I told you, I've made videos when dudes came straight in the cell when I was younger and just took off on me, so I'm always on alert when I go in a new cell or when somebody come in my cell. So I'm always going to look at, the dynamics and see what needs to be done, if it needs to be done. When the time comes for it to be done, it will be done. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't feel that type of friction with him. He was doing what he was doing. All the dudes was catering to him, all the Bloods in there. He took cold advantage of it. He loved that authority. He loved being able to call shots and get dudes to do what they do. To me, he acted a little bit more harder than I actually perceived him as. Because when you actually live with somebody, you see them when they not out in front of everybody else. You see the real them when they ain't putting on the fronts, when they ain't acting super tough or whatnot. And like I said at the time, man, I was going through it, you know what I'm saying? I was going through it. I wasn't calling my family. I wasn't, trying to get no visits, because up there, them people come up there to visit you, man, and you dealing with a racist compound, and your people might come up there driving 5-6 hours to come see you and get up there and get denied for a visit, or get up there and get disrespected by these racists. And that right there was something that I could not tolerate. So I told my people, don't come see me. I didn't barely talk to them when I was up there. I didn't use the phone that much. And if my people would have came up there and they would have did anything to my people or disrespected my people, man, again, y'all would not even see me. You would not know me, because I would have acted a fool up there, And so, I was in a bad space. I was in a bad, head space, because I was trying to focus on what was going on in front of me. And when you get your mind concentrated on the streets, when you forget what's going on in front of you, and that can cost you. So I tried to focus on what was going on here and kept my mind off of the streets for that time being, because I had to focus on my survival. So, yeah, I was in a bad space, man. So, like I said, he was in there. He had money here. He still had tobacco, cigarettes, and all that stuff, which you weren't supposed to have. He still had it. They had just stopped the smoking, but you had a little grace period, like I said, to keep the tobacco. So he had it. He was making big money off of it, because tobacco was big business on it. I mean, big business. Them dudes had smoking habits, man. It was stronger than them. And for them to take the tobacco out, man, it really caused, I'm surprised they didn't riot. They have rioted for much less, but that shows you the stage of prison, where it was going to. Dudes was getting less revolutionary, less confrontational, more meek, but all of their aggression had turned away from the administration. When I first came into prison, dude's aggression was aimed towards the administration first. You know what I'm saying? The dude that was beside you last. Now it has switched to the aggression has turned to the dude right beside you in the same position that you in, and less towards the administration. When I first came in, them dudes ain't care nothing about, attacking the police if the police disrespecting them, going at them. The Bo Billy eras, the Sam Pitts, the Shorty Pimps, these dudes ain't, man, they gonna do what they gotta do. It don't matter who on the receiving end. If that's what they feel they got to do, that's what they're gonna do. But now it's a different era, it's a different time, and these dudes is thinking on a, to me, on a lower level. So yeah, like I say, man, he loved his little position, and that tobacco, man, he was making a killing with it. But like I say, when you in the midst with somebody, you right there in the cell, when you see their real character. He used to claim, you know, by him being a shot caller, he's supposed to always look out for their brothers. They're supposed to always support them. They're supposed to always have each other back. But yet at the same time, he had tobacco in the cell, and some of his partners be asking for tobacco when he first got in there. He'd give it to them, you know, and then as time went on, he'll start telling, they ask something, he'll say he don't have it. They'll even offer to buy, but they want a discount because that's their brother. He'll say he didn't have it. When I'm sitting right here looking at you, got tons of this stuff. But he'll sell it to the dudes that was paying the full price, sell it to the other cats. So when you see things like that, you know, like I say, it's an indictment on your character because of what he said he stood for. You know what I'm saying? These dudes was willing to die for him. These dudes was willing to be crash dummies for him. But you can't give them some cigarettes. You can't give them something to smoke, and you know what I'm saying, just to make money. So, you know, but like I said, me, for the most part, man, me and him coexisted in there. We weren't like super tight. I felt like he was more like a puller, you know, what they call, and what we call in prison, we call a ASS puller, you know, where you just barking, you know, y'all may understand the old terms, what we call like woofing or selling wolf tickets. I felt like he was more of that than the persona that he put on, the Hellraiser that he gon', you know, that's what I felt, and it turned out to be true, you know, far as from my aspect. So, you know, like I said, we coexisted in there. I just did my thing, man. I worked out. I stayed focused, man. Every now and then I venture out. I play chess. I'll play Scrabble or something like that. But like I said, I didn't like going out in the block that much on these compounds because of the gang activity. They'll, you know, jump off on somebody at any time. And then next thing you know, you down and you may get hit with a straight bullet or something like that. I ain't want no parts of that. So, you know, like I said, that's what I did. That's what I was into. You know, he did what he did. He went out there, he played poker every day, trying to gamble, trying to win money, you know, talk to his little followers or whatever, you know, gave orders, had meetings, did all the things that he did. But when we was in the cell, we barely spoke. He watched his TV, I watched mine. When we did talk, we was respectful, we was respectful to each other, and we was cordial. But like I could tell, he wasn't my type of dude because he was into different things than I was into. But like I said, you can't pick your cell partner when you're in prison. You just can't do it. You got to deal with whoever you got to deal with because that's what's going on. That's what the administration is doing. So, you know, I can remember though, man, one day, man, they was down at gym. We was in the gym. We go to the gym like every other week sometime. You know, it all depends, man. When our number is called, the building is called, we go to the gym. It's nothing but a basketball court, man, and the tower up there with the gun on you. Concrete floor, basketball court. Dudes go down there, get their basketball on, play, run, you know, and you know, get their exercise on. But there's always controversy within them games, man. Somebody always end up arguing. Somebody always end up wanting to rumble. But you got this dude up here willing to shoot you. He wants you to rumble. He wants you to argue so he can bust that gun and have something to talk about. So I can remember being down there one time, man, and one of his gang members got to argue with a dude that was from Richmond. OBG, shout out OBG, man. So they get to arguing and like they was getting ready to do something. And I can remember him just running down there, ran all the way down there. What's up? What's up? And he goes running over and grab his sweatpants and going in there like he got the Bethlehem in there. And like, what's up, homie? You all right? You all right? And dudes, I'm looking at him like, yeah. So they ended up breaking this stuff up. But little did he know that right there, that one move would cost him. Yeah, that one move would cost him, man, because by him acting like he had that thing and he was ready to get involved and, you know what I'm saying, to help his brother and do whatever he was going to do, man, them Richmond dudes, man, they got to talking, and Richmond was a mob within itself. You heard me? Richmond was a mob within itself. So them dudes got to talking, man, and discussing what was going on, and they felt like it was beef, and they felt like they wanted to handle it, like they was threatened. So they had got together, man, and came up with a little joke, like saying when they go back there in the gym, the next time we had gym rec, they was going to take care of that business, you know. And yeah, it was going down. So it was little rumors and talks and everything about it. And I know he got wind of it. I know he heard it, but he was trying to act like he won't word, like he was down. So it's like they getting their stuff together, they getting their stuff together. So man, I can remember when it came time for us to go back to the gym. So we go to the gym and everybody's on alert. Everybody know what's going on. I can remember one little young dude that I was around, man. Outstanding, man. Salute to Outstanding. He was a 5%er. And I think he knew one of the dudes from Richmond that had been locked up a little while, and he was super cool with him because that dude was actually part of his family by marriage or something. And I remember he pulled up on me. He was like, man, you going there in the gym when we got the gym? I said, I don't know, Ryan, what's up? He said, man, it's going to pop off when they go down there, man, because, I was talking to my peoples and everything, man. They tell me some, man, they going to deal with them blood dudes, man, because of what happened, man. And I know that shit sell it or whatever, right? So I'm just letting you know. Woo-woo. I'm like, yeah, well, I stand alone. I ain't got nothing to do with what he doing. He on his own. He's affiliated with some. That ain't what I do. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Woo-woo-woo. He was like, yeah, I know. I was just letting you know, da-da-da. So I was put on point anyway. But, like I said, I knew it didn't concern me. And in any event, I'm going to protect me at all costs. So we down there at the gym, man. I can remember, man, when they closed the doors and everybody started picking teams to play ball or whatever. I can remember just, having my radar on and looking around and seeing all the players that supposed to be involved. And I'm watching because I'm observing. And I can see the dudes that were supposed to be involved did not try to play basketball, which a lot of them usually do play basketball, but they didn't even try to play basketball. So I knew something was in the air. And when you've been locked up as long as I have, you can feel it. You can feel the energy, man. It's just there. It's hard to explain unless you understand, but the energy is there. When it's like you can smell danger is on the horizon. You know what I'm saying? So I can remember, man, and they was just walking around and they just waiting, man, for the dude in the tower to go get relaxed. Sometimes they go get relaxed. They, like anybody else on their job. They ain't gonna be on their job all the time. He gonna go sit down and get on the phone and get the yakking and talking, and doing what they do, probably talking about some country music or some NASCAR or something. So soon as he ain't in the way and these dudes is walking around the block and walking around the court, other dudes is playing whole court basketball. I can remember, man, the two dudes that was actually in the incident. The blood dude and BG from Richmond. I can remember the blood dude was walking with another blood dude, and BG and two of his homeboys was standing up there. So as you come around, they walk by them. They go around, they got to come back by them. I can remember when the dude was gone, the gun dude, they was coming back around, and as they was coming back around, I can remember BG just, BAM! Punched him straight in the face as soon as he walked by him. He fell down on the ground. BG got down on him. His buddy tried to get in it. The dudes that was with BG jumped in it. Then the other blood dudes stopped basketball to see what was going on. The Richmond dudes that was already on point. It was just a melee. They just started getting it in. I'm talking about these dudes was rumbling. Bang, bang. I'm talking about busting. Boom, boom. Fighting. You know what I'm saying? Dudes that pulled the Bethlehem out. The chasing dudes and trying to put it in them. It was just chaos up in this joint. So when stuff like that happened, you got to be on point because you don't know what's going on. You don't know who might think you affiliated. You don't know who might think you involved. So you can put your back against the wall and be ready for whatever, comes your way. So I can remember when that jumped off like that, man. And it was going on. It was crazy, man. They was just banging out up in there until the officer finally came on that side because of the noise. When he came on that side and seen what was going on, he hit the button, bam, bam, everybody get on the ground, get on the ground. You know what I'm saying? And he called his people. So dudes is still rumbling and everything. So he tried to find a spot to shoot at. Bow! When he busted Joe the first time, dudes is down. Some dudes stopped fighting. Some other dudes kept on fighting. Man, it was just total chaos in there till everybody ended up getting on the ground. And you know what I'm saying? While everybody else on the ground, the police ain't got here yet. The cavalry ain't came yet. So I can remember my celly trying to be a leader, trying to be the boss. He gonna jump up off the ground because it was another Richmond dude that was close in front of him that was small, so I guess he thought he could get out on him. He jump up and try to run over there and try to, stomp the dude and hit the dude. The dude jump up to try to fight back, so he's just swinging at him, bagging him up. Man, one of them great big Richmond dudes jumped up too and just went to him and boom! Dropped him down on the ground and started pounding him, getting on top of him. The little dude started helping him. So there's two of them on him. And the rest of the blood dudes ain't get up off the ground to come fight and come help them. And then the doors bust open and all the police come running in. And then they got the dog, and the dog come in, they right by the door. As soon as the dog come in, go straight to him, grab him, start biting him on his leg, shaking his leg. He hollering, ah, ah. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, man. And the dog was ripping his leg up, shaking him. He got on shorts. We in the gym, he playing ball. So the dog ain't got nothing but naked leg.
The Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man.
My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.